All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Oulton Park. Greg Boydell and Roland Olson on the front row. Mayor Bixler, Stu Wright have the second row. Bill Calder and Ed Harris have the third row. Everybody getting stacked up, ready to start. John, I hate to hear that. I wish you could be here tonight to convoy with them. Now, they should not need a fuel stop. They've got a 33-lap tank of fuel. We'll see how it plays out, though. Tires could be a defining issue here. Of course, as we mentioned, damage is turned off for this league, but you never know what can happen. They head toward the final turn. The pace car will head to pit road. Greg Boydell in control up front. This track has a lot of elevation changes and a lot of tricky turns. These cars may not be powerful, but if you get the momentum, they'll get going as they are now. Green flag is in the air. They're underway at Oulton Park. It looked like one of the cars was smoking off the start. Did he burn up the tires, or I'm not sure. Oh, John, I am so sorry for you, buddy. Boydell still in the lead. Stu Wright, Ed Harris already on the move. Ed on maximum attack here. He has already moved from the back up to third. A little bit of smoke coming out of Harris's car as he goes around the turn. Stu Wright holds on to third for the moment, but Harris has a run down the hill. Bill Calder and Mayor Bixler appear to have a problem early on. We'll take a look here in a moment. Boydell still has the lead. Calder has had another problem. He is off track. Out of the final turn, it does look like Boydell will lead lap number 1. And let's see what happened on the first lap. There's Bixler. Oh, they just get together going to the turn. Bixler goes off. Looked like Calder was just trying to run deep into the turn, got on the brakes a wee bit too late, then locked him up. Then a few moments later, Mayor Bixler coming down, and Calder spins just ahead. Goes through that turn, the back end just gets a little bit light. but he stays out of trouble, gets going again. Boydell continues to lead, has pulled a bit of a gap on Robert Oulton, about 1.6 seconds. Stu Wright still holding on to... Oh, Stu is around down in the dip. Ed Harris now to third. Stu back to fourth. Stu having some trouble getting recovered. He drops to fifth. Take a look at this incident with Stu Wright. Comes around that last turn, down the hill. The car just gets light, slides to the infield. Quickly gets it backed up, but has problems getting it rolling once again. Boydell continuing to extend his lead, now 2.7 seconds over Oulton. Ed Harris in third, trying to close back up. Mayor Bixler back in fourth, Stu Wright in fifth, Calder back in sixth. Stu, after starting up in third, is really trying to make his way back toward the front. Ed Harris, we've seen, has been on the attack since the drop of the green. He is now up into third. How much further can he make it? He's about 3.25 seconds behind Oulton, but he is gaining ground. Boydell, though, continues to pull away from the field, continues to be the fastest car on track. Mayor Bixler back in fourth as back in fourth as Stu Wright closing in fifth. Bill Calder currently in sixth. We saw him have problems earlier. He has got a lot of ground to make up. Remember, we mentioned it is a fun race for these guys. No points. They're just out here seeing who the best of the best is. And so far, it is Greg Boydell dominating this race. His lead as he comes down the front straightaway, crosses the start-finish line, now 4.2 seconds. Robert Oulton still holds on to second. Ed Harris is closing back in, but on that last lap, Harris lost about a second. He has started to close back in, but is now 3.9 seconds back in third. Bixler still in fourth. Stu Wright continues to... Wow! Stu is using all the track and more. Stu now just 2.7 seconds behind Bixler and gaining, as it looks like Bill Calder and Robert Oulton have both had problems. Taking a look here at Calder, who had already had a lot of problems, and whoa, just overshoots a turn through the sand down into the bottom. He does keep it going. Looked like he might have had quite a whack there. Remember, they do have damage turned off. Yeah, you saw the car just gets light as he goes through the turn. And then Robert Oulton also had a problem. You saw the brakes whoa! The brakes briefly locked up. He taps them again and it just stops. That mistake by Oulton has put Ed Harris right on his bumper. Stu Wright has just taken fourth away from Bixler. He's almost 12 seconds behind that battle for second place at the moment. Harris continues to lock the brakes up from time to time, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down much. Actually, I think that may be engine smoke as they shift. Meanwhile, while the battling goes on behind, Greg Boydell just out for a Thursday afternoon cruise now has an almost 9-second lead. Boydell just in another class of his own here today. The battle is still on for second between Oulton and Harris. Harris not giving up any ground, but hasn't been able to find a place to attack. And we mentioned it during pre-race. This is normally a hard track to find a place to make a move. But these Formula Vs are so small, it's a lot easier to make an attack here. But you put GT3s on track here, or even the bigger Indy cars, there it is so much harder to make a move. Greg Boydell now has a huge lead, almost 10 seconds. As the battle rages for second, Stu Wright back in third, now 12.8 seconds back, but he has started to put a gap on Bixler in fifth. Bill Calder's troubles have him way back in sixth place. And Greg Boydell is not slowing down. He just set the fastest lap of the race. Boydell has been the dominant force since the drop of the green. Everybody else just racing for second up against him. Roland Oulton as Oulton may have gone too wide. And looked like Harris might have had a run out of there, but couldn't capitalize. Harris tried to set up to the inside, just did not have the momentum through the sweeping right-hander. As Calder has had a problem. Bill has been struggling with this track. And again through the last turn. This time he holds it a little bit closer to the track, but spins out down in the hauler. Does get a turnaround back on track, but man, lost even more ground here. Greg Boydell out front, and Bill Calder just ahead, about to lose a lap. Hopefully Calder will have enough speed to hold on to the lead lap. Stu Wright back and forth as Bixler getting a little bit closer. Meanwhile, Olsen and Harris still battling it out for second. Oh, lap car in the way. Problems for second and third. Looked like Calder was a little bit slow there. There's Calder, goes off into the grass at the apex, goes sideways. Finally gets the car turned around and going, but is down on speed. And here comes second and third. Ouch, that was tricky. Damage is off. Thankfully, that saved everybody. It did give Roland Olsen a little bit of room. Back to Ed Harris. Harris had been all over his bumper up until then. Stu Wright gaining a little bit of ground. Bixler slow as he comes through the horseshoe. Looks like he may have had a bit of an off track there. Meanwhile, Greg Boydell's lead still holds at about 9.25 seconds. It does appear Boydell has slowed down just a hair. As Roland Olsen now about 9.2 seconds back. But Ed Harris is closing back in on Olsen. He's ran him down once already this afternoon. Can he do it again? Boydell's lead again, 9.2 seconds. Olsen is getting closer, slowly but surely. And Ed Harris is getting closer to Olsen at the moment. Olsen has definitely picked the pace up just a bit. And Boydell is on pit road. Looks like they will need a fuel stop here this afternoon. Oulton also in, Ed Harris staying out. Stu Wright brings it in fourth. Bixler back in fifth. Yep, Bixler is gonna bring it in. Calder also staying out to try and regain a little bit of ground. Ed Harris, the only car in the top 5 that did not pit. Will it work in his favor? Expect to see Harris in this time by. If his lap was fast enough, he may very well have opened up a bit of a gap. And here he comes. Ed Harris gives up the lead for his fuel stop. Greg Boydell heading toward that final turn as Harris just hit his pit stall. Roland Oulton back in third, just came through the final turn. Harris still on pit road. Harris is on his way out. This will be close. It does look like Oulton is going to slip by. And Bill Calder has come to pit road as well. Ed Harris comes off pit road in third, 4 seconds now behind Roland Oulton. Greg Boydell's lead about 5 seconds at the moment, but Oulton is getting closer. Oulton had a faster pit stop by a couple of seconds. The gap between the top two now about 5.5 seconds. Ed Harris back in third is gaining a little bit of ground on Roland, but is now 4.5 seconds back. Stu Wright currently holds on to fourth. Mayor Bixler in fifth. Bill Calder a lap down in sixth. The field has spread out quite a bit since pit stops. Now the question is, who has the speed to close the gap ahead? Ed Harris does seem, since his pit stop, has not been as fast. Remember, he was running Roland down very quickly during the first half of this race, but now he is losing ground. The gap 4.5 seconds. boy, Magic Tay, how are ya? Doing pretty good. Ed Harris in third, just started gaining ground on the top two. Looks like he is starting to fight back, but Boydell has started to open up the lead once again now, 6 1/4 seconds. Lap traffic is coming into play as Bill Kohler. Everybody makes it by cleanly this time. Stu Wright back in fourth. Mayor Bixler in fifth. And folks, don't forget to come back tonight at 8 Eastern. The Unicorn will be trucking on American Truck Sim, and everybody is invited to join the convoy. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a lot of YouTube shorts that have come out recently and a lot more coming out in the coming days. Ed Harris has been consistently faster than Roland Olson, but Olson somehow keeping the gap, and Bill Calder has had a problem behind. There's Calder, look like headed toward that final turn again. Just carries a little too much speed, goes wide. Keeps the power on, but it did throw some debris on the track. It could play in the next few laps. Remember, iRacing's new debris system. These drivers throw that debris on track like that, and it does affect everybody else. Roland Olson in second now, 7 seconds behind Boydell. Boydell checked out in the early going of this race, had a lead over 10 seconds. That lead got cut in half during pit stops, but it looks like he has cranked it back up. Roland Olson in second, gains a little ground, loses a little ground, but he is pulling a gap now on Harris. Harris, who looked so strong in the early going, something after his pit stops just is not right. That car now in third, 6 seconds back. Stu Wright in fourth, about 21 seconds back, but he is closing for the first time on Harris. Mayor Bixler back in fifth, and Calder in sixth, 1 lap, now 2 laps down, I believe. Boydell continues to just dominate the race here at Oulton Park. And as he goes through the final turn, let's hop on board and take a lap around with our leader, Greg Boydell, across the start-finish line, down into turn 1, cuts right to the apex, slings it out, sets up through that little bit of a kink into the left-hander. Big left-hand turn, then back on the power down the straight. As he comes over the ridge, setting up for that horseshoe turn, back. On the power, up that slight hill. Remember, this configuration, not using the chicanes on the backstretch, so full speed, full send, down into the right-hander. And you hear the tires squealing for help. Back up the hill, down the little bit of a straightaway, into the penultimate turn, right at the apex, slings it out, setting up for that final turn. That final turn has cost a lot of drivers a lot of problems here. A little bit of a bump through the right-hander, then back up. The car gets a little bit light, then drops down the hill. That little sector of track, you can be leading as you come to it, and at the back when you get done with it. That was a lap around Oulton Park with Greg Boydell. He did that lap in a 1:36.52. Boydell's lead now back to 10 seconds over Olsen. Ed Harris in third, 6.3 seconds back. Stu Wright holds his gap back at in fourth at 20 seconds. Mayor Bixler back in fifth and Calder in sixth. Six laps to go for Greg Boydell, who's dominated this race. But last time by, Roland Olsen set one of his fastest laps in second. Over half a second faster than the leader. Ed Harris in third, doing everything he can, but just something changed on that on that pit stop. It has been a huge setback. Stu Wright had a problem a moment ago. Mayor Bixler in the wall. Let's see what happened with Bixler. Oh, a slow car ahead. He gets into the dirt, into the grass, then into the inside wall. Finally does get it turned around and recovered. Meanwhile, Stu Wright over at the first part of the track just overshoots The exit of the turn, but quickly recovers. Mayor Bixler has gone to pit road. Greg Boydell has cranked it up once again, extended his lead now to 11 1/4 seconds over Oulton. Ed Harris currently in third, about 6 1/4 seconds back. Boydell continuing to extend his lead now late in the race. We saw he had that big setback during his pit stop. He has definitely made up for it. His lead now is over 12 seconds. Roland Oulton still holds on to second. Ed Harris has found some more speed. He has gained a little bit of ground on Oulton, but it may be too little too late with 4 to go. Stu Wright still holding on to fourth. Bixler now back in fifth. Calder in sixth. Calder has really struggled here today. But as we mentioned, it is just a fun race. Remember, Coast to Coast Racing this week has been doing a bunch of charity events, which has changed their regular schedule, but the Retreads guys wanted to get together and have some fun on a Thursday afternoon. They are definitely doing that. And Bill Calder lost another lap, went wide to let the leader by. Ended up in the grass as 3 to go for Boydell. Ed Harris continuing to gain ground on second place. He's now 4.9 seconds back, but with 3 laps to go, he's gonna have to go a heck of a lot faster. It's worth noting, Harris did just set his fastest lap of the race. Gained about a full second on that last lap. But he's going to have to gain quite a bit more than that if he wants another shot at Oulton. Bixler now to fourth. Stu Wright is on pit road. Looks like Stu has towed it in. Two laps to go for Greg Boydell and a 13-second lead over Robert Oulton. Ed Harris in third is closing the gap. But still is too far back. I don't think he can get it done at the pace he's running. Mayor Bixler now to fourth. Stu Wright still holds on to fifth while he's on pit road. Calder in sixth. Boydell's lead continuing to grow. The gap now 13.2 seconds back to Oulton. Harris is really pushing it now, 4.5 seconds back, but not enough time. And here we go. Greg Boydell down the front straightaway will get the white flag one more time around. Just 2.5 miles from victory lane for Greg Boydell, who has dominated all morning long. Roland Olson holds on to second, and Harris currently running in third. Harris seems to gain quite a bit every lap, but man just cannot get close enough. Bill Calder has moved into the top 5. Now that Stu Wright is out of the race. And here we go, Greg Boydell and Willy Wonka headed toward the final turn. A dominant run for Boydell and the Oompa Loompas here this morning. And out of the final turn, Greg Boydell will get the win here at Oulton Park. Roland Olson comes home and manages to hold on to second. Ed Harris gained a lot of ground on those final laps, but still comes home in third, 3.5 seconds back. We'll get a word with our top 3 here in just a few moments. And folks, as I mentioned, don't forget to come back tonight at 8 Eastern. The Unicorn is trucking. Come for a laugh. Trust me, there will be chaos. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. A lot of YouTube shorts coming out, have come out over the last few weeks. More coming out today and more coming out in the next few weeks. Top 3 working their way back to the start-finish line for pictures. Boydell gets his car parked up, waiting on the other two. And Boydell just showed how dominant he is in one of these cars and in road racing. Just waiting on our top three to hop in there, and we'll get a word with them. Great racing by all the drivers here this afternoon. There's our top two. Looks like Ed Harris did not come back around. Folks, don't forget we are back racing Sunday morning, 11 Eastern. GT3 NSS is back. Sunday evening, BRR is off for Mother's Day, but SMRX Series is back. And let's get a word with our top three, starting with our winner, Greg Boydell. Greg, it looked like a nice, calm Sunday afternoon cruise for you today.
Yeah, those they're a fun little car, and I'm used to driving GT3s, so slower is faster.
Well, you definitely seem to have all the speed this morning. I think the fewest number of mistakes, not to mention having the most speed, setting the fastest laps, and just checking out.
Yeah, I learned from GT3s that basically if there's a set of red and white rumble strips, you basically want to hit them.
Well, you definitely managed to do that. We saw some guys hit them a little bit wrong and catch air, but you hit them right every time.
Yeah, we've raced this course quite a bit, Doug. It's fun, and it's really fun with these little cars.
Well, you guys definitely put on one heck of a show, man. Congratulations. That was a great race.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. And thanks for coming out this afternoon and doing this for us.
My pleasure, buddy. Great job.
Thanks.
It does not look like we're going to get a word with Roland Olson. Hang on. Looks like Roland is available. Let's get a word. Roland, man, you had quite a battle up there today.
Hey there, sir. How you doing this afternoon?
Good. That was a great run today. That was, man, you had your hands full with Ed for about half the race.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him getting tied up in lap traffic, I think, you might be talking to him right now instead of me. But, yeah, I was able to manage. I took a 1X on that one and was able to get through that cleanly. And Ed wasn't so fortunate. So, yeah, that got him off my tailpipe, and it was a little bit easier after that.
How close were you watching the lap times after that? Because he started gaining a little bit here and there in the last 4 or 5 laps. Man, he came for you.
I was watching the relative, and I knew he would be going, hell bent to catch me, and I would have done the same thing. And this track's a tricky one, especially in these Formula V's. You can get off the track in a hurry and hard to get back on. So, I give him a lot of credit because that stump that he got tied up with the lap traffic. But I've been there before, and frankly, I was able to breathe a lot easier for the last half of the race.
I think we've all been there, but man, great job. Congratulations holding on to second. Quite a race. Great job, man.
Yeah, no, anytime you're going against Greg, you're got your work cut out for you. And I think I was running all 137s, and I think he only ran one 137, and all the rest were below that. So yeah, I was just happy to finish on the same lap as him. So that's where it's at. But thank you, thanks for having me up, and thanks to C2C Retreads for hosting the race. And look forward to seeing everybody again soon. Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks. Have a good.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to come back tonight at 8 Eastern. The Unicorn is trucking. We'll see you then. Have a great one.